I'm Diana Steele, and I'm here at Fresh Street Market in West Vancouver talking about our fresh BC corn. It's here. You can get corn pretty much all year round, but this is the time of year when you can get it, and it's really sweet and juicy and it's economical. So go for it and buy your corn. I love corn on the cob as it is, but you can use corn in salsas, you can have it in a salad, you could put it in your soup, you could put it in a dip, you can have it in your guacamole, you can have it pretty much anywhere. So corn, really versatile vegetable. Very nutritious too. So one ear of corn has about half a cup of corn kernels in it, and half a cup of kernels is about 74 calories. Has 2 grams of protein, so it does contain some protein, and 2 grams of fiber. There's both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, and the interesting thing is that this insoluble fiber is actually digested by our good bacteria in our colon, and it produces these short chain fatty acids which act as a fuel for your intestinal cells and makes them healthier and improves our immune system. It also can help lower the risk of colon cancer, so getting that insoluble fiber is really important. We also get vitamin A and vitamin C in corn, not a ton, but more vitamin A than vitamin C, and folic acid. And folic acid has been shown to reduce the risk of neural tube defects in pregnant women or their infants, and also involved in red blood cell formation. So there are lots of nutrients that you can get in corn. It's not a useless food. Some people consider it a grain. I consider it a vegetable if it's going to be fresh. If you have it in something like a tortilla, then a corn tortilla, then I'm calling it more of a grain product. It's dried and it's going to be more nutrient dense in there. So when you're choosing your cob of corn, the first thing to look at is the outside. Make sure that it's nice and green and it doesn't look dried up, that these beautiful silks here are not getting rotten or too old and wet. Then when you peel back the husk here, I'm going to do that so that you can actually see this. You want to make sure that these beautifully tightly packed kernels are going from larger to smaller. If they're really large at the tip, that means that the corn was grown a little bit too long and it might be a little bit more tough. So make sure that these silks are nice and fresh looking, and that the corn kernels are nice and plump as well. Cooking corn, you can do so many different things. So you could cook it in the husk on the barbecue. It takes a little while. I've also done it in the microwave in the husk. 2 minutes, and then what you do is you cut off this last little centimeter here once it's cooked, and you hold on to it like this and shake it out of its skin, and all the little silks will stay inside the husk, and you just have your cob of corn and it's ready to go. So if you're only doing 1 cob of corn or 2 cobs of corn, that's a really great way of doing it without having to dirty a pot. Otherwise, steaming is probably the most nutritious way because you're locking in all those nutrients and not letting it sit in the water. And you can boil it, but don't over boil it, no more than 4 or 5 minutes. And the thing about that is make sure you're never adding salt, because salt will make the corn really tough and chewy. When you're buying your corn, also make sure that it's been stored on ice or in a refrigerated section, because a warm corn is going to have more starchiness in it. Corn has about 18 grams of carbohydrate per half cup, and these carbohydrates actually are not digested too quickly, so that it gives the corn a lower glycemic index. So if you have diabetes, corn is not so bad because there is some fiber and some protein. So it's got a low to moderate glycemic index, between 35 and 65 depending on how it was cooked. So go ahead and have your cob of corn and include it as part of your meal, and just watch your toppings. So if you're covering it with lots of butter, you're going to get a lot of calories, but you could do a little bit of lime juice and some chili powder, or you could try lemon and cumin as some alternative flavors for your corn. So enjoy.
If you want to know more, if you have any nutrition questions, you can contact Diana at 604-739-3290 or check out her website, eatingforenergy.com. You can also follow Diana on Twitter at eatingforenergy.